Hi, violins and violas. All right, today we're going to be working on page 7. But before we start on page 7, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about your bows and about your instrument to make sure that your instrument is still in good shape. One thing I want to check on is your bow. And so if you have all this taken care of, then please go get your book if you don't have it already and turn to page 7. And if you have it, follow along with me right now. All right, otherwise you can pause me and go get your book. All right, so for your bow, make sure, again, I think I mentioned this last time, make sure your bow, your stick of your bow, the wood part, is bent a little bit. It wants to be bent towards your hair. And your hair, it should be about maybe like a pinky's width. Don't touch your bow hair, but about a pinky's width separate. And so I'm actually going to tighten this just a little bit and see how there's no hairs falling. And I could probably fit my pinky just right in there. All right, and that is about as tight as you want it. You don't want it extra tight so your bow hair looks really stressed out and your stick is straight. You don't want that to happen. You just want to make sure you have a nice bend in your bow and that your hair is straight and not falling down. Okay, and then when you're done for the day, you're going to loosen it back up. And there, I've got a couple strings falling, a couple hairs. Maybe a little bit more. Let me see if I can show you better this way. Yes, there you go. You can see a couple hairs that are falling down and when I put it away. And then when I'm ready to play again, I'm going to tighten it back up so it gets some time to rest. If we pull that hair constantly, just like our hair, it'll start to hurt. Or in this case, it'll start to fall out. So just make sure that you are not pulling your hair so tight that your bow hair is going to fall out. Don't do that. For tuning, we're going to be using 3 strings right now. We have the A string, D, and G. And for my violas, it's A, D, G. And then for the violins, we're going to skip your teeny tiny string, and it's A, D, and G. Okay, so violas, A, D, G. And violins, you start from the second one from the smallest, A, D, and G. All right. On page 7, I hope you all have your book now. On page 7, you are going to be looking at the G and the D string. And make sure your violin or viola, your strings, your A should sound like this. Your D should sound like this. And your G should sound like this. If they don't, if they're super loose or too tight, or they just don't sound like that, A, D, G, then bring it in and I can tune it for you. You can just bring it and drop it in my room or in front of my room in the morning, and then I'll bring it to you by the afternoon. Make sure your name is on it and make sure that you write what it needs. If there's like something broken and you want me to fix it, just write a little note saying what you want me to fix. Otherwise, I will tune it for you and get it back to you. All right, so let's get started on page 7. At the top, it has some notes. It says arco. Arco means play with your bow. So we are playing with our bow. And it says it right there. Arco, play with your bow. And then it's telling us what a measure is. So the part that's in between the 2 lines that are bar lines, that's called a measure of music. So this is 1 measure. So where it says G, 1 measure of music. And then next to that, we're learning about the whole rest. It looks like an upside down hat, but it's actually a whole rest. So you're going to rest for 4 beats. So we're going to count to 4, and we're not going to play anything during that time when we have a whole rest. And then we have our repeat signs. So our double bar lines with the 2 dots, that means go back to the beginning. So if you're looking at our music, when we look at number 9, G and D, we have 4 beats to play the G, 4 beats of rest where we don't play, 4 beats of D, and then 4 beats of rest again. So let's get started. We're gonna fly in our violins and violas to our neck, using that chin rest, getting nice and comfy, holding it there, and we're gonna play our G for 4, rest for 4, D for 4, rest for 4, and then we're going to repeat 1 time. So let's do number 9. Start on your G string. Should sound like this. 1, 2, play for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest. 2, 3. Now play the D. Rest. 2. Repeat to beginning G. 1, 2, 3, then play your D and re-rest. 2, 3, 4. That was number 9. Let's go to number 10. There's no rests in this one, so we're going to go from G to D without stopping. 4 counts each. A 1, a 2, a ready, play 10. 2, 3, 4, D. Back to G. And D. Now repeat, beginning G. Back to D. Back to G. D one more time. And we stop. Okay. Now we're going to go to number 11. So number 11, we're going to go G, then we play D 2 times, and then we go back to G and repeat. So number 11, 2 together is what it says. 2 together. 1, 2, play your G. D 2 times. 1, 2, 3 for change direction. And then back to G. Beginning. G, 2, 3, 4, D. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, back to the G. Okay. Number 12. It says a different 2. Oh my goodness. It is throwing in the A string that we learned from last time. So now we're doing D and A, which are right next to each other. So A is higher than D, but they're right next. They're neighbors. Okay, so let's start with the D string for number 12. 2 different. 1, 2. Start with D. 3, 4. Now A. Back to D. Beginning again, D, 2, 3, 4, A, 2, 3, one more A, back to D. All right, okay, 3 strings. So all 3 strings, we're gonna have the G string, the lowest, the D string, and the A string. All neighbors. All right, so let's start with the G, and then we're going to D, then we're going to A, and then we're going back down again. So 1, 2, ready with the G, and G, D, A, back to D, down the G, G again beginning, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4, A, back to D, down the G, and stop. All right. That is all for today. That is page 7. If you have any questions, let me know. We are playing 3 strings now. It's exciting. If you're ready and you're zipping through your book, you can keep going past. But I just wanted to start from the beginning just to make sure, because when we started rehearsals, it was really fast and there was a lot of us, and I feel like we missed some things. And we will have a performance, so don't worry. But we are going to probably schedule it for May. I think that'll probably be the best time, and we will get some songs ready, have more than one. We already have our Twinkle that we've been working on, Twinkle Twinkle, and we'll add some to that to make sure we have a few songs for our concert. All right, everyone, let me know if you have questions. You can respond to me in Google Classroom, or you can comment on this video, or you can email me, ndebris@cherrycreekschools.org. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.